What's up everyone, my name is Josh and this is Josh Unbox and welcome back to another video. And today I kind of want to talk about the different types of categories, the different types of classifications or groups of people within this sports card hobby or sports card market. You know, we got our group of collectors, we got investors, we got flippers, and we got dealers. And I guess the question to be asked is, what category do you see yourself as? You know, and it's not to say that one is better than the other. I mean, a lot of us probably dabble in multiple categories, not just one category in particular. I mean, for example, Chris Sewell from Baseball Card Collector, Investor, Dealer, he says baseball card collector, investor, dealer, all in that order. So he dabbles in three of those categories. Myself, I like to think of myself as three of those categories as well. You know, collector, investor, flipper. And the way I see it for myself is that I'm a collector at heart. So collecting will always be number one. I hope that my collection make good investments to be able to invest and pass on to my son. So that's number two. And I flip to be able to fuel number one, which would be my collection. So I myself dabble in all three areas. Is not to say that, like I said, one is better than the other. I hope to one day jump into the whole dealer aspect of it. It'd be cool to, set up a dealer table at a card show and, sell some of my cards, find deals, and continue to roll that in and just have fun giving back to the hobby in that way, aside from providing content in this manner. But I feel that that's one thing I would love to do eventually sometime in the future, so I could dabble in all four. Who knows? But like I said, it's not to say that one area is better than the other, or you should strictly be just one category, because you can be anything. You don't have to restrict yourself to one. And I feel that by being able to expose yourself or immerse yourself in these different types of categories or different types of groups of people allows you to get a good broad picture or a big picture of what is actually happening within this sports card hobby, within the sports card market. Now, the way I feel about things is that about a year and a half ago, we got this huge influx of people jumping into the hobby, and the majority of them were investors and flippers. Back then, we had a strong base of collectors, and there were some people who flipped, and there were some investors within that group, right? But within the past year, we've seen the investor and flipper sides or flipper bubbles grow bigger. That portion of a circle has grown bigger. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it actually helps create different viewpoints, different perspectives within this hobby. And for myself, I love immersing myself in many different types of content to be able to get a good big picture of what is actually going on within the sports card market, to see what are the thoughts of our flippers, what are the thoughts of the investors, what are the thoughts of the collectors, what are the thoughts of the dealers. It's a good way to, like I said, keep a pulse on what's happening within the market. And we have a big group of different content creators that cater to certain special groups. We got our sneaker collectors that jumped in, or sneaker flippers that have jumped into the hobby that kind of appeal towards that flipping audience. And we got guys like sports card investor that particularly appeals to investors. And then we got our group of collectors that just appeal to collectors. So being able to consume yourself with these different types of groups allows you to get an idea of what's happening. And I feel like you shouldn't restrict yourself to just one specialty. Like I said, sometimes it's good to watch these other content creators or listen if you're doing it through podcast form, just to get a good idea of what people are talking about. Reading the comments, getting a sense of what that viewership group is talking about. I think it provides one, good discussion, and two, it provides a whole different perspective of something that you haven't been thinking about before. And you can probably use that to fuel or help you make better buying and selling decisions based off of what the current trends are, or trying to stay one or two steps ahead of the game. So yeah, myself, like I said, I feel that I dabble in three of those categories: collector, investor, flipper, all in that order. And regardless of whether you're a flipper, whether you're an investor, whether you're a collector, or whether you're a dealer, whether you're two of the four, three of the four, all four categories, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think It allows us to enjoy the hobby at our own pace, enjoy the hobby and how we want to enjoy it, and not get caught up with what one person is saying and how you should do things versus how another person's saying and how you should do things. You do what you want to do. You do you. I guess that's what it is. And you find your own way. You find your lane. You find what you enjoy, and you just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride of this hobby, because it's a fun hobby. Sports cards is fun. I think there's a sense of joy that I get buying cards of players that I love watching, or players that I grew up watching, or enjoying the history of a particular sport, or enjoying greatness in the GOATs. There's a lot of things to like about the sports card hobby. Hobbies are supposed to bring joy or add joy to your life. It shouldn't be stressful. And I think that's part of it, is that we stress about how cards are dropping in the sports card market. We experience FOMO and stress out when cards start rising up. And then you start thinking, I can never reach that card again. It's about finding different avenues, finding different ways, new ways to enjoy the hobby. And I think by getting a good understanding of what other people are talking about allows you to find those areas in which you could still find joy, or find new joy, a new passion into those areas. Like lately, I've been finding joy in buying SGC cards, BGS cards. I think it's fun finding deals for those cards. I've been finding myself having fun with that. So like I said, it's however you want to make it. You don't have to stick yourself to one area. Sometimes it's good to listen to what other people have to say, whether you agree or disagree, and that's the part of it. You can disagree, but it doesn't mean to say that there's not at least one little thing you can learn from that. So that's pretty much it. Short video, just wanted to get this thought out there while I have it fresh in my head. So, if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. And with that being said, my name is Josh, and I'll see you guys in the next video later.